Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you joining us today in today's live lecture coming to you from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day. And today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the Igbo lunar calendar. And then and 10/27, 2025 in the Roman Catholic calendar. And we are having some technical difficulties. Let me change to a different gadget. Then I'll come back to you. Just give me a minute. Okay, let us just continue like that. Let us continue. Have some technical difficulties. But anyway, today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the Igbo lunar calendar and 10/27/25 in the Roman Catholic calendar. Remember, the reason we are giving you both calendars is to let you know that we have our way of life before the arrival of the colonial masters in our land. And remember, at Nkolo Mahadum, we always advise you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call Akonuche in Igbo language. And because every culture protests their own, that is primarily why Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University was set up, so that we can give you the correct information, what you have to know, than the miseducation, misinformation, and misdirection from the colonial masters and their institutions and stooges in our land and across the world. We package and present lectures from an Igbo man, from Biafran and African perspectives. That is why you should always join us, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And now we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, we are live on TikTok and Twitter. So you don't have any reason not to benefit from this important lecture. And always like, comment, and share. Share this lecture to get to your friends and well-wishers. Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University is an university. It's a Mahadum, an university, where we lecture things from the Igbo man, Biafran, and African perspectives. The title of today's lecture is A Message to the Anambra State Government to Release Akwa Okuku, Tiwerake. Release Akwa Okuku, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus. Release them, because Christianity does more harm to us and should be banned in our land if Governor Soludo is not biased. The title of this lecture is for the government of Chukwuma Soludo to release Akwa Okuku Tiwerake, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus from detention. Release them, because Christianity, the foreign Christianity that was introduced in our land by the colonial masters, does more harm to our people, to us, and should rather be banned in our land if Governor Soludo is not biased. We believe that by holding these people, Akwa Okuku, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus, that Governor Soludo is biased in his judgment. And we want to remind you that Akwa Okuku and Onyeze Jesus was arrested back in February 2025, while Ekehit was arrested in March 2025. And from these periods, these three individuals have been kept in detention. They are just doing them like they are doing Mazinam. They bring them to court and they take them back to detention. They bring them to court, they take them back to detention because they don't have any evidence to prosecute them. And so that's why we are calling on the Governor Soludo, to urgently release them, because you know how this colonial democracy and institutions we are set up in our land, such that the judiciary is not independent. The executive is the one that is making all the decisions and influencing everything going on in the state and in the country. And so if Governor Chukwuma Soludo decides to release these three individuals today, he will release them. And that's why we are encouraging him through this presentation for him to release Akwa Okuku, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus, because they haven't committed any crime. And according to Premium Times, their arrest came 2 months after the state governor, Charles Soludo, declared war on native doctors, following a rise in criminal activities across the state. So the arrest came after 2 months, according to Premium Times, after 2 months after the state governor declared war on native doctors, following a rise in criminal activities across. So what the governor was implying is that the rise in criminal activities in the state is related to the activities of native doctors and not those practicing Christianity. That is the conclusion from what Premium Times have just said, that according to Premium Times, that the arrest of these people came 2 months after the state governor, Charles Soludo, declared war on native doctors, following a rise in criminal activities. Well, so when there's a rise in criminal activities in the state, then you say that it is native doctors. How about the churches? How about other kidnappers in the state? How about the Fulani herdsmen? How can you say it's native doctors? And also, according to Sahara reporters, the Commissioner for Information in the state, Law Mefo, later said that Soludo only declared war on fake and devilish native doctors involved in criminalities, such as preparing charms for kidnappers and gunmen. And so the commissioner now clarified, according to Sahara reporters, that the state that Soludo only declared war on fake and devilish native doctors involved in criminalities, such as preparing charms for kidnappers and gunmen. So how can Soludo, the state government, and his state government now declare war on what they call fake and devilish native doctors? How do they know that they are fake? How do they know that they are devilish native doctors? Is there any evidence to support that? If there's evidence to support that, why are they still in detention? Why can't you convict them with the evidence and show the world, show the public the evidence that you used to convict them? So there's no evidence. And when you are talking about fake and devilish, and you forgot the foreign Christian religion in our land, which is fake. The foreign Christianity in our land whether Catholic Church, whether Anglican Church, whether Pentecostal, call it any name that uses the fake Bible, is the real fake we have in our land. The Bible with the character of Jesus is the fake we have in our land, because those are lies. The Bible is the book of lie. That is where you should have started your action. You're supposed to start your action by banning the Bible, banning Jesus, preaching of Jesus and Bible in our land. Because those are fake. You cannot say that native doctors are fake and then you leave the Bible, which is the main fake book, and Jesus, the main fake character, that are lies. Lies that never help any of us. That's where you should have started. And so they are charging these native doctors, Akwa Okuku, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus, as devilish and fake native doctors preparing charms for kidnappers and gunmen. Forgetting that the men of God do the same thing. They bless criminals too. They bless kidnappers too. They give them the power of Jesus too. Don't you know that, Soludo? And so we are calling on Governor Soludo to quickly release Akwa Okuku, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus, because the arrest is biased. You are biased in your arrest of these three individuals and keeping them in detention. Because the foreign Christianity does more harm to us. It does more harm to us and should be banned in our land if Soludo is not biased. You don't know the harm that the foreign Christian religion is having on our people. They start very early in our lives to brainwash us that the Bible is this and the Bible and Jesus are this. The Bible is just a story and the Jesus is just the main character. Both of them don't have no power. There's no power in the Bible. There's no power in Jesus. And they are using to brainwash our people right from childhood. That's just from when we are born. They tell you to come and do baptism, to change your name to a Western name, to a foreign name, to change your name from our own cultural, traditional name. They name you something that you don't know. What crime is more than that? They provide false promises of heaven after you die. After you have died and rotten on the ground or cremated, then somebody will promise you that there is heaven somewhere. Why? The higher you go, the lesser there's no oxygen. When you go above this cloud, there's no oxygen to sustain human life. There's no life above the sky. And the Bible is telling you that when you die, you go to heaven. Go to heaven. Where? Heaven is on this earth. That is why the Europeans who brought you the religion are building their places every day. Their places is the heaven. If you are living a good life, you are in heaven. There's no other level heaven you will go to when you die. When you die and you are buried 6 feet, you're rotting there and never exist again, except your spirit is on this earth. You don't go anywhere. They say it's above the heaven. And that's what the Bible is teaching our people. And Chukuma Soludo, you are allowing that. The Bible and Jesus claim that they cure sickness. They kill our people. They claim that they're curing sickness, but the people that brought you the Bible have hospitals, have doctors, have different medical professionals in their land, taking care of people, managing the sick, managing the elderly, so that they will not die. But the Bible, which Soludo is supporting, and Jesus is telling our people that they cure sickness, and you see them keeping sick people in their places of worship, and you never go there to arrest them. And you think that that's not a more harm, that's not a more serious crime than Akwa, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus. They claim they perform false miracles. They have the cripple walk. They have the blind see, which are totally false. They are the lying machines in our land, deceiving our people, that they perform miracles. Let me tell you, if anybody have the power to perform miracle, people will be coming from all over the world. They are sick. Then why do we have the hospitals? If anybody is capable of performing miracles around the, people will be coming around the world to see that person. People will come all over the world, and nobody have power to do any miracle. Nobody. Like we have said before, and then they brainwash our people from youths, from kindergarten, from small. The Catholic Church will say, "Kene Maria." From childhood, they start to brainwash you with Maria, with molded things. If you come to the church, the Maria is molded, Jesus is molded, all the disciples are molded, everything is molded with bags of cement and iron and sand. You allow our people to worship molded images in the name of salvation, in the name of going to heaven. And you think that's not a more serious crime than what you are charging Akwa, Ekehit, and Onyeze Jesus. It is just bias. You are just biased, and we are asking you to release these three people because they haven't done anything wrong to you more than the foreign Christianity in our land. Foreign Christian religion have done more harm to our people and should be banned if Soludo and his government is serious in eradicating poverty, eradicating crime, and have our people progress from their natural talent. That's what he should be doing. In addition, the foreign Christianity in our land exploits our people. It exploits them, make them pay tithes, make them pay different type of contributions in the church. Sometimes they call you out to bring, who are the 500 people? Who are the 1,000 people? Who are the 5,000 people? Come out. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 300,000, 500,000, 1 million. Come out and donate, exploiting our people in the name of Christian religion. Isn't that more crime than what you are charging these people? This is why I want to give you this information. If you don't have it, or if you have fallen into the trap of this Western religion, you better come out of it. Come out of that Western religion, because it's like it's in your head and you cannot think outside the box. That is partly why we are making this lecture for you. To release these people because they have committed no crime known to law. Release them. The Christian religion is causing more harm in our land than these people that you are holding. Another offense which the Christian religion is causing in our land is preventing our people from holding government responsible. Government is the one that makes one happy and unhappy in most cases, because the type of government system we have right now, the colonial government system we have, concentrated power and resources in the hand of the government. And so it is the government's responsibility to distribute, to redistribute the income, what they call social safety nets, introduce so many things, pay house rent for the poor, feed the poor, give them medical care, give the elderly care, give them caregivers. In these countries where they brought you this religion, they have caregivers attending to the elderly. It is the government that is supposed to build the road. It is the government that's supposed to make sure that there's electricity. Everything is concentrated in the hand of the government. But these people, these church, Christian, Western church leaders, divert the attention of our people away from the government to Satan. They say it's Satan. Or wait, Jesus will do it. Wait when Jesus does it. Isn't that criminality? Isn't this criminality more than what you are charging these three people? So let us call a spade a spade. In this 21st century, our people have opened their eyes. They have known the truth now that Western religion is the major problem we have in our land. And therefore, if Soludo wants to cleanse up, he should ban all the Western religion in our land, because they are the ones, they are the major criminals in our land. The next thing that this foreign Western religion is doing on our people is they encourage poverty, because the Bible tells them that only the poor will go to heaven. That's what your Bible is telling them. Isn't that criminality? But the capitalist system, which we are practicing, which there was competition between communism and capitalism. Communism championed by Russia and China. Communism means government will take care of the people in their geographical area. The government will provide everything: housing, food, work, everything that you need. That is communism. But capitalism is you work and get whatever you can get. Capitalism, which we are practicing now, is and that is what everybody is practicing. And a lot of people have amassed a lot of wealth. So if the Bible tells you that you have to be poor to go to heaven, which means they are encouraging poverty. But everybody is struggling in the capitalist system, which most of the world is practicing, to get as many as they can get. While the Bible is preaching that you have to be poor to go to heaven. The foreign Christianity in our land also encourages fasting. Fasting, according to Nkolomo Hadum Wisdom University, just simply means tormenting self. When you are fasting, you are tormenting yourself, depriving yourself of food and the nutrients you need for survival. You just deprive yourself of what your body needs for your utmost wellness and satisfaction. You deny it yourself for some fast for days, weeks, months. Isn't that a crime? Isn't that a crime against humanity? These are the things Governor Soludo should know, and to release these people as quickly as possible from detention. The next thing that this foreign Christianity does to our people is dividing our people. The foreign Western Christianity have so many denominations. You have Catholic Church, you have Anglican, you have Pentecostal, you have Mountain on Fire, you have Redeem, you have this and that. They divide our people. Division everywhere. Division in families. Division in communities. Division in states. Divisions in countries. Everywhere division. People that they say are getting their knowledge from the same Bible. But you are divided. You are so much divided. And our people have been divided by Western religion. So, isn't that a crime? We have to be together. We're supposed to be one. We're supposed to be united. But instead, the foreign Christian religion have been dividing us into pieces. And divided, we fall. Divided, we fall. That's why we've been falling, because of this foreign Western Christianity in our land. The next thing that this foreign Western religion has done to our people is that they now see the pastors, the reverend fathers, the bishops as messiahs, as the one they have to go to. They go to them for everything. They go to them for confession. They go to them to pray for them. How can you go to somebody to pray for you while you have direct relationship with your Chukwu Okike Abiama and not even Jesus? Every human being have direct relationship with nature, and nature is what we call Chukwu Okike Abiama. Why should you go to somebody, a human being like you, to pray for you? Isn't that what am I gonna call it? I don't want to abuse anybody, but hey, what can you go to somebody to be the one praying for you? Somebody that was born the way you were born, the same way you were born, is the same way the pastors are born, the fathers, the reverend fathers, the bishop, the pope, whatever you call them in the church, the same way that you were born is the same way they were born. You all live in the same environment. The same way you will die is the same way they will die. There's no two ways about it. So why should you now reduce yourself to see somebody else as better than you, as the one you should go? And then the one you go and do confession, you go and reveal your secrets to somebody. And then the worst of it all is that some reverend fathers don't get married, and they are counselors to married people. A reverend father and bishop who is not married, never have experience of marriage and challenges of marriage, will now be the one advising married people. Should it be so? Should Soludo be allowing that in the States? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. So those are the things. They reduce our people to looking upon somebody else to help them. Why should somebody help you? God has already created nature. Chukwu Okike has already created you, giving you everything you need to survive in life. And your survival depends on the family you come from, your personal efforts, and the environment where you live. Those are the things that means your success, and then your interaction, your relationship with your environment. It's not somebody. No pastor can help you. They are just there to exploit you and, reduce you to second class. Those are the things we are saying, that Governor Soludo should know that this foreign Western Christianity is the problem we have in our land. Not Akwa Okuku, not Ekehit, not Onyeze Jesus. And then the next thing, because there's a lot of them, but just the few that we have selected, is limitation of knowledge. They limit your knowledge. Everything now you know is in the Bible, that fake book, fake story book. You cannot think beyond it. You cannot ask questions. Isn't that a crime? Limiting human knowledge. Prevent you from asking pertinent questions. Is it not a crime? That's what we are asking Governor Chukwuma Soludo. These and others, which will not contain in this lecture, are the reasons why we are advising Governor Soludo to release Akwa Okuku, release a cake hit, release Onyeze Jesus, because the Christian religion in our land is creating more problem, more harm to us than Akwa Okuku, a cake hit, and Onyeze Jesus. And recently, we even saw Governor Soludo romancing with some of the church leaders. One came from, Plateau State. He came from Plateau State, Anambra State, and Soludo was there. Which means, Soludo, you support all these atrocities being committed by the Christian religion in our land. You support them because you are a member. Is that why you support them? And that's why we are presenting this lecture to you, to please release Akwa Okuku, Eke Hit, and Onyeze Jesus, because they have not committed any crime more than the Christian religion in our land. The Christian religion in our land is doing more harm to our people than these people, than Akwa Okuku, Eke Hit, and Onyeze Jesus. That's what we want you to know. And hence this lecture. And so what we are saying here is that we are presenting this lecture today to encourage Governor Soludo to release Akwa Okuku, Tiwarake, Eke Hit, and Onyeze Jesus. Because Christianity in our land does more harm to us and should be banned if Soludo is serious in what he's doing, so that people can be free thinkers. We're not free thinkers. We are caged by the Bible and Jesus, which have no power at all. Many reverend fathers have been kidnapped and killed. Many church members have been kidnapped and killed. And Jesus and Bible did not save them. Both in Enugu, both in Anambra, both in Ebonyi, both in Benue State, both in Plateau State, both across Nigeria. Jesus and Bible never saved them. And according to Premium Time, the arrest of these individuals came 2 months after the state governor, Charles Soludo, declared war on native doctors, following a rise in criminal activities across the state. Why should you be pointing to these people? Why not the churches? Why not the churches? Why not the pastors? Why not the men of God that are committing various atrocities in our land? And then, according to Sahara reporters, the Commissioner for Information in the state, Law Mefo, later said that Soludo only declared war on fake and devilish native doctors involved in criminalities, such as preparing charms for kidnappers and gunmen. And we are asking in this lecture, who is more fake? The Bible and Jesus is clearly fake book and fake story, which doesn't concern any black man, doesn't concern any Igbo man. They are fake. And the churches also pray for criminals. They pray for kidnappers. Why don't you go after those ones that are giving them Jesus, that Jesus has power to protect them? You don't know that some church leaders, some pastors give Jesus as power to some kidnappers? You don't know? You should know before you start to arrest these people. And so these people are being kept in custody. They're just doing them like what they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They bring them to court. They put them back to detention. Why are you doing so to our people? Why are you doing so to our people and leaving the pastors and the reverend fathers and the men of God who are committing different crimes in our land to be walking free. Why? It shows that Soludo government is biased. If not, he should have banned the churches, put many of these pastors and men of God and reverend fathers and bishops in jail. They are the ones that are supposed to be in jail for all the crimes they are committing in our land by using the fake Bible story and Jesus to brainwash our people. Fake Bible and Jesus that doesn't have no power, that doesn't benefit any African, that promises heaven after you have died. They promise you heaven after you have died, suffered and died. You are buried 6 feet down, and they're telling you you're going to go to heaven. And there's no heaven beyond the sky. There's no heaven beyond the sky. The higher you go, the lesser the oxygen. When astronauts want to go to the space, they already build a spacecraft on Earth, provided with oxygen, and then carry it up there. So there's no human life can live up there. When you enter an airplane, when you enter an aircraft or airplane, the aircraft gives you oxygen while you are flying up there, because there's no oxygen there. And so this Bible, fake Bible story tells you that there's heaven after you die. They are using it to deceive our people, and you are leaving them. And you believe that. And not arresting those pastors and bishops and reverend fathers. They claim that they cure the sick. You see a lot of them, a lot of our sick people going to the churches, and you're allowing it. Isn't that crime against humanity? Where we're supposed to have doctors, a lot of medical doctors, and you're supposed to have free medical care in Anambra State. Provide free medical care so that our people will not be going to the pastors as place to cure them, and you are leaving them alone. They claim false miracles, that is that the cripple will walk, that those cannot hear will hear, and you are allowing them to operate in the state, and you think that's not a more serious crime than what you are charging these people with. They brainwash our people from childhood. I say, what I'm no baptism. Kiba wari Igbo, Igba wari Igbo, wala onye ochi mara Igbo mean, born like a born ebido. From there, when they brainwash and they brainwash here, how to brainwash you from childhood with this false, fake book called the Bible and Jesus to our people. And you're allowing those people to be existing in our land? Plus the exploitation. Every day, some people, even some churches, some pastors even have churches every day. Some have every Monday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, 4 times a week. Sometimes 3 times a week. Sometimes 7 days a week. People are coming and giving them money. And then they will line them up. Those for 1,000, those for 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, 1 million naira. And they will come and be paying them money to go to heaven. The heaven that they know does not exist. That heaven is on this earth. If you are living a good life here, you are in heaven. Heaven is not when you die. Anybody telling you that when you die, you go to heaven is lying to you. And Soludo is allowing these people to continue with this lie on our people. And the Western Christianity religion has prevented our people from holding the government responsible. Because it is the government that makes life easy. The government is the one that builds road. build school, provide free medical care, feed the poor, feed the elderly, give the elderly care, pay for house rent for those who cannot afford it. It is the government that's supposed to do everything for you. But these people will turn our people away from saying, that's why the governors and those in government have a lot of money that they are wasting. They don't have any social responsibility to the people. And these churches turn the people away and tell them that it is Satan. Any bad thing happen, they say it's Satan. But any good thing happen is Jesus. Lying to our people. And Governor Soludo is not seeing it. Seeing all this as crime against humanity. Generational crime. What the churches are committing in our land is generational crime. That's why we are making this lecture. And then the next thing that they are doing is they encourage poverty. Because the Bible tells you have to be poor to go to heaven. That the rich will not go to heaven. But we are practicing capitalism. Capitalism means hustle and get as much as you can. That's why it's different from communism. Communism means the government is the one that will provide you everything that you need. But the Westerners made capitalism more popular. And everybody is pursuing capitalism. What we are pressing in Africa is capitalism. It means acquire more wealth, which means the Bible is telling you to be poor, but the system we are practicing is to acquire more wealth. They are lying to our people, and you are allowing it to exist in our land. That is wrong. Also, the Western religion makes our people to be participating in fasting. They say do 1 day fasting, do 3-day fasting, do 1 week, 1 month to 2 months fasting, which we call an Inkolomahadum, tormenting self. When you are engaging in fasting, you are tormenting yourself. You are punishing yourself. You are depriving yourself of what your body needs to nourish it, to be working well, for you to be healthy. That's what you are depriving yourself of. And that is what the Western religion is encouraging in our land. And Soludo is not seeing those ones as a crime against humanity. Also, the Western religion, Christianity, divided our people into pieces because they have more than 50 denominations. Mountain on Fire, Redeem, Catholic Church, Anglican Church, Pentecostal. They don't agree. They never agree. Sabbatarian, they never agree with each other. And you come to our land, families are divided, villages are divided, communities are divided, towns are divided, states are divided. And you think it is good for us, that foreign religion, and you are allowing it to exist, and then arresting innocent people and calling them names from your megaphone because you are in control of government machinery and government information, which actually belong to everybody. The government belongs to everybody, not to Christians, not to Soludo, as he often parades and makes comments. So let's continue. The Western religion sees pastors, reverend fathers, bishops, popes as messiahs. Why should you be seeing a human being like you as a messiah? A human being that was born the way you are born, that live in the same environment that you live in, that will die the way that you die. Why should you be seeing him? Why should you be going to somebody to pray for you or do anything for you? Or revealing what you are doing to him in terms of confession? Why are you doing something like that? Why are you belittling yourself? Why are you making yourself a slave to your own brother? And the governor and his team doesn't see this as bad. The next thing that the foreign colonial Christianity is doing in our land is that it limits knowledge. They are not, everything they know is in the Bible, that fake book. They use that fake book to cage them. You cannot think outside the box. That's why people like Soludo cannot think outside the box, because he's been caged in that book. I cannot ask questions. And so, what we are saying in this lecture is that Governor Soludo should release Akwa Okuku, Eke Hit, and Onyeze Jesus, because the foreign Western Christianity we are practicing in our land does more harm to us. And if Governor Soludo is serious, he should ban them. Put all the pastors, all the men of God, all the reverend fathers, all the bishops in jail, because they are committing generational crime against our people. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining me today. And please like, comment, and share this lecture to get to the world. Because here at Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University, the truth must be told. And the truth is that the Western religion in our land is committing generational crime. Generational crime means crime that will be carried from generation, from children unborn to another children, to another children, to another children in our land. And that should be stopped right now, so that our people can be free thinkers and be able to live their life without any brainwashing or lies coming from our colonizers and their institutions and stooges in our land. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.